Hello everyone, Storm 101 here. Today we'll be taking a look into my September 2020 forecast. We'll also be taking a look into the Climate Prediction Center's September forecast as well. I'll give my thoughts on their forecast. But let's go ahead and begin with my forecast. We're going to start off with temperatures. You can see here below average temperatures start to show up again on some of my forecasts. Now, there's a pretty good indication that we'll be seeing below average temperatures in some of these regions in here, which includes eastern Nebraska, eastern Kansas, northeastern Oklahoma, central and northern Arkansas, even far northern Mississippi, northwestern Alabama, central and eastern Tennessee, and Kentucky, western Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Missouri, Iowa, southern Minnesota, southeastern South Dakota, southern Wisconsin, and southwestern Michigan. These are the areas where we can see below average temperatures. And I really do mean it. There's been a really good agreement that we're going to be seeing a big time Arctic fall cold air blast next week, the time of making this video, and that is going to make the temperatures pretty well below normal. And if that looks like to continue, but it'll start to warm up a little bit again. So some of these regions here and around that time period, especially the below average region, can see well below normal temperatures in some of these regions. Now this light blue area in here that is slightly below average, which includes, the northern plains, the the upper Midwest, also includes Michigan, then extending down into portions of Dixie Alley, portions of the Ohio Valley. I think they'll call it the Mid Ohio Valley. Even getting into Oklahoma, Kansas, western Kansas, western Nebraska, and most of Oklahoma there. This is where we could see some slightly below average temperatures. Then, where we don't have any color, you see means equal chances. That means there will be times where you could get some slightly below average temperatures, and there could be some times where you could see slightly above average temperatures in those regions. Or, for short, pretty much means average there. You can tell they're pretty noticeable. Unfortunately, the West is still looking to be warm during the September time frame, which they definitely need a break very soon. Uh, Across the western United States, we got above average temperatures, including Washington, Oregon, California, Nevada, even in it stretching into southern Arizona. Then you got slightly above average temperatures from like Idaho down to Utah, down into southern New Mexico, and southern Texas, southern Louisiana, most of Florida, the East Coast here, pretty much of the Carolinas and Georgia, stretching into Virginia, in the Mid-Atlantic regions as well, and portions of the Northeast. In those areas, we could see some slightly above average temperatures. In the far northeastern United States, we could see some above average temperatures as well, due to some ridging that's still going to be nearby, and that's also not good news for the hurricane season, because if we're going to have ridging up here, there's not going to be any tropical systems in the northern Atlantic. So where are they going to go? They're going to be going, probably continuing more towards the United States during September, but we're going to keep an eye on that very closely as well. Let's take a look into precipitation here. And as you can see, we got a very large area of slightly below average precipitation. Typically, when you have a pattern like this, like a trough in the central eastern United States, and then you got ridging across the west, typically you don't really see that many systems go through some of these regions in here, at least not as often in some of these regions. So you will see slightly below average precipitation, which includes the entire Northwest, uh, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, portions of Dakotas, Nebraska, portions of Kansas, Colorado, northwestern Missouri, western Iowa, southwestern Minnesota, then across northern California, northern Nevada as well. Although there is some good news for portions of the West, portions of California, Nevada, Arizona, southern Utah, you guys actually have average precipitation forecasted in some of those regions. So that's definitely an improvement for some of you guys there. And so you guys might be able to see some rain in September, at least to your average. So that's definitely going to help. But Still not really looking like much rain could be coming for the Northwest, unfortunately, but I'm sure they'll come in very soon. It's just not looking like September may not be your uh, month for getting some rain up there, unfortunately, which I know you guys are definitely going to need some rain. And let's move on to the Eastern United States. And again, EC means equal chances or average. Like I said, it's basically the same thing like for your temperatures. It's just named differently there. So you got this dark green region here. This is where we're going to see some above average precipitation. Now it's going to verify pretty well in some of these regions in here because as of right now they are getting tons of rain in some of those regions. So that area down here is going to verify pretty well. And I think that pattern is likely going to continue into probably towards mid-September. But we're going to see quite a few systems that'll come down this way here, and where we're going to have a very strong trough back behind it, it's going to curve up like this. So you're going to have training of showers of thunderstorms in some of these regions here. So that's why there's an above average region for precipitation. You can also see here there's slightly above average precipitation even across central and northern Illinois, northern Indiana, northern Ohio, southern Michigan as well. In far southeastern Wisconsin, northeastern Texas, good chunk of Oklahoma, northern Louisiana, southern Arkansas, central Mississippi, Alabama, northern Georgia, portions of the Carolinas, eastern Virginia, basically the mid-Atlantic East Coast, and even up into the northeastern United States as well. So those are regions we're going to watch for a decent amount of rain, especially in the dark green region, which includes portions of Tennessee Valley, pretty much nearly the entire Ohio Valley, and then getting up into New York State as well, and portions of the Mid-Atlantic. So those are regions we're going to watch for potential for a lot of rain that could be coming in September. Now let's look into my overall forecast here. Now we're going to go from west to east here. Uh, so we'll start with this dark red region here. That's where we'll be seeing hot and dry conditions going to persist really most of September. So that's very unfortunate for you guys. I know you guys are going to need some rain very soon, and I think later this fall we're probably going to get some of you guys can see some rain very soon, hopefully. So at least that's still looking to be in the forecast there. Meanwhile, in the light green, that's where we see some average precipitation. Otherwise, it's still going to be hot in those regions, so keep in mind of that. You're still going to see hot conditions, but you'll still get average precipitation, your typical average. So, at least there's a good side to September. At least you guys will be seeing average precipitation, which is pretty important. Although you guys have been hot for quite some time now, so definitely you guys see a cool down very soon. And really, generally, most of the United States haven't really seen a cool down in a long time. But it seems like we're going to be seeing it somewhere in the United States in September, which we'll get to that. This yellow here, that's where we're going to see some warm and dry conditions for most of the September, in which it includes mainly Idaho, eastern Nevada, Utah, eventually into Colorado, and even into southwestern Wyoming. That white area in there, that's where we're going to see some mountain snow, which it actually is snowing in some of those areas there, early mountain snow. And I think it's going to be mainly early September, although that could continue throughout most of September if this pattern kind of continues, but we'll be keeping an eye on that very closely there as well. This large light blue area, that's where we're going to see mostly cool conditions or average. Well, the western portions will see mostly slight below average precipitation. It'll be a little bit dry, but if you go to like the eastern portions, it'll be more of average. It could be a little bit wet in some of those areas, but overall, it's going to be stay pretty cool in some of those areas. Then you got your well, I should be naming the states. It goes from central Montana for into eastern Wyoming, eastern Colorado, western Nebraska, most of Kansas, into central Missouri, central Illinois, central Indiana, into Michigan, and then into Wisconsin as well. Then you have your dark blue region. That's where we'll see some chilly temperatures at times here, where we're going to have some of these big time troughs going to be moving in. Some of you guys are going to be seeing pretty chilly temperatures in some of those regions, which includes northeastern Montana, the Dakotas, northeastern Nebraska, most of Iowa, and even including Minnesota, which is not good for the agriculture up there, where we can see very chilly temperatures around harvesting time, which I don't think very chilly temperatures won't be good for agriculture up there. So, especially Iowa, where they had the derecho, so it's gonna be some pretty tough times for the agriculture with some very chilly temperatures at times, which is not gonna be good for the crops up there. Then when you get into this kind of the purple color, very cool early. Some of these regions, while I'm talking about that big trough, some of these regions in that dark purple will be seeing temperatures 20 to 25 degrees below average, or even 15 degrees below average. So it's going to be very cool early on, but it should be turning a little bit warmer towards the end of September. So that's what that basically means. Very cool early in the month of September. Then you get this, well, that actually includes the Texas Panhandle into central Oklahoma. Then you got this dark green region. It's going to be cool and stormy in these regions, which includes eastern Oklahoma, most of Arkansas, southern Missouri, southern Illinois, southern Indiana, southern Ohio, northwestern Tennessee, and then into Kentucky. Again, we're going to see some cool and stormy conditions, so those regions in there. Then your light green, which includes a good chunk of Ohio, and then eventually to northwestern Pennsylvania and southwestern New York State. That's where we're going to see basically just some stormy conditions, but just not as cool as some of these regions could be seeing. Although some of you guys will have a chance for some cool weather there as well. This light yellow area, I don't know what other color it will be, is a flip-flop pattern. There is going to be times where you see some pretty cool temperatures in those regions and then eventually it'll warm back up. You're going to be seeing that kind of flip-flop pattern kind of going back and forth throughout most of September there. Then you get in this orange color here. This is going to be summer-like weather. Just basically your typical summer-like weather. You know, daily chances for like thunderstorms in some of these regions, and also will be hot and humid as well. So just basically get just your typical summer-like weather in those regions. And then the pink here, which I actually pretty much nailed August here with tropical activity. I had this region pretty much highlighted in here, in which we did get a couple of tropical systems in this region here. So just about nailed it. Uh, Even around Key West actually had tropical weather with Laura, but I actually kind of nailed it with the tropical activity in the Gulf. But like I said, with that, and with the setup right now, I think the East Coast needs to keep an eye on this here very closely here. So that basically is for like Florida, then basically for the East Coast for Florida, all the way up into potentially southern Connecticut there. Those regions may need to watch for some potential tropical activity, but otherwise there will still be summer-like weather in those regions in there, which is basically, typical summertime weather. Daily chance of thunderstorms, hot and humid, for some of those regions. So we're going to watch for tropical weather for some of those regions, especially when there's going to be a ridge of high pressure blocking the North Atlantic. So adding on top to a trough. That's going to be right here. So you're going to get some tropical activity in this region here. Now, I don't think we're going to see tropical activity in Louisiana or Texas, which is some good news because you guys are going to need a break from Laura that you guys had. But we'll go ahead to watch for some tropical activity for September, which is still looking to be another active month, unfortunately. And it is becoming a little bit active right now at the time to make this video. So that's basically my forecast there for September 2020. Let's move on to the Common Prediction Series forecast here. I think they're just a little bit warm on this one here. This was made back at the 20th of August, so it's not that too long ago. They do have EC, which means equal chances across a good chunk of the southeastern United States, even up into the Midwest as well. But again, I think they're a little bit too warm on this here for some of these regions, so I think it'd be a little bit below normal. Which I guarantee you, I think on the next update, if they do up their September forecast again, we'll probably likely see some below average temperatures in some of these regions in here. Other things to know, southern Florida looks to be quite warm, safe for the far northeastern United States where it has some ridges nearby. And it's also quite warm across the southwest, although we may get to see that expand across the northwest. Overall, I think there's just a little bit warm in the equal chances region. If we move on to precipitation here, you can see here they do have an area of equal chances for portions of California, which is some good news there. They're going to need some rain there of how much they can get there. Even equal chances across the northern plains, basically really the entire northern United States. They have above average precipitation across Florida and some of the adjacent states, which I have some disagreements on that. I think it should be expanded to some of the regions like I have. But otherwise, equal chances for the entire northeastern United States and even back into eastern Texas as well. So if they're going to update this, I do expect them to expand quite a bit if they're above average precipitation and probably move to below average precipitation or expand it across the north. So, but I think I kind of agree with their forecast on some standards, some I don't. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on the card predictions or forecast. But anyways, guys, this is all for you guys today. Hopefully, you guys did enjoy my September 2020 forecast. If you guys like this forecast, hit that like button. If you really do like my channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell notification so you never miss an upload. If you guys have questions about this, you can put in the comment section down below. I'll answer you guys questions. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.